Hello and welcome. Today we're going to look at the next in our series of microfinance and evaluation skills. And this one is about what-if analysis. This is a variation on the process of looking at changes that we have just done under the statement of income and expenses. It focuses on what happens if things don't go according to plan. Suppose, for example, that sales are not as high as forecast. What effect would that have on profit? So here we have the same income and expenses statement that we used in the income and expenses video. So we have sales of 104,000, cost of goods sold of 52,000, gross profit 52,000, total overheads 34,000, and net profit of 18,000. So here's an activity. Remember, we're looking at what happens if the performance is not as good as we thought. So if the sales were only 1,500 per week instead of 2,000, what would the effect on profit be? So like last time, you might need to pause the video here. I'm going to go ahead with the answer. So here we go. So in the middle column, we have the original figures here with the sales of 104,000, which was 2,000 a week times 52 weeks. In the right-hand column, we have sales of 1,500 per week. So that comes to a total of 78,000. And if we're selling less, that means the cost of goods sold is less. So that will be only 39,000. And the gross profit will go down to 39,000 as well. So what we're saying is we're buying 39,000 worth of goods. We're selling them for double what we bought them for, so that's 78,000. And our profit is 39,000. Okay, the overheads have not changed. So we have to take the 34,000 overheads off the gross profit of 39,000. And now our profit has gone down from 18,000 to 4,000. So the answer is 4,000. We can say that if sales are only 1,500 baht per week, the return for a year's work is only 4,000 baht, and she's probably better to close the shop down and do a limited amount of outside agricultural work instead. So next question. What if she couldn't get a markup of 100% and she had to settle for only 80%? For example, instead of buying something for 100 baht and selling it for 200 baht, which is 100% markup, she could only sell it for 180 baht, which is 80% markup. So try that calculation. Pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead with the answer. So here we go. Middle column is still the originals. On the right-hand column, we now have sales of only 93,600. Cost of goods sold is the same. So what we're saying is 93,600 is 1.8 times 52,000. Instead of previously it was 2 times. So the markup has gone down to 80. The gross profit has gone down to 41,600. Overheads are the same. So the net profit at the bottom has gone down from 18,000 to 7,600. So the answer again is that she only makes a small profit, 7,600 baht, and she'd probably be better to close and do something else. Okay, question 3. What if the overheads increased by 20%? For example, I could still buy for 100 and sell for 200, but the cost of my weekly buying trip or my electricity bill increased. Again, you might want to pause the video. I'm going ahead with the answer now. So the answer would be they increased from 34,000 to 40,800, which is 20% higher, and the profit would reduce from 18,000 to 11,200. So, conclusion. From the what-if test, we can see which changes have the most effect. We can identify the figures that we need to watch carefully to make sure our business succeeds. The conclusion of the what-if analysis we have done is that the project is sensitive to the level of sales. If sales are better than expected, the result is very good. If they are worse than expected, it's very bad. It's less sensitive to markup, but it's still important to make the forecasted level of or profits will suffer badly. Another way to look at this is to work out how much either the overheads or the sales or the markup would have to get worse before you get to a zero profit. This is called a break-even analysis. Break-even means no profit, no loss. So the advantage is that you understand exactly the point at which your business changes from making a profit to making a loss. And of course, you try to stop that from happening. So this is the end, my friend. See you again next time.